Yep. All right, we are here and ready to start if you are. Okay. What's that? Okay, I have 6:30 on the nose. We're starting our meeting. On time. And today is Monday, the 17th of November. And start with.
Can we start with establishing forum first?
Form.
Okay. Chair Morris,
Here.
Vice Chair Wynn.
Here.
Commissioner Dolich.
Here.
Commissioner McDonald. Here. Commissioner Sangoni. Sangoni. Here. I even wrote it. I apologize. And Commissioner Stout. Here. So we do have all present. Great.
All right. So now.
Mhm.
Pledge of allegiance. Sorry about that.
Really, yeah.
Who would like to lead it? Okay. We'll just do it all together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sorry, just make one second, just gonna grab my, when, So I believe the next item is to see if there are any public comments for items not on the agenda, and I don't see anybody here, so there's nobody for that. Great. Okay, and then next would be to approve the minutes from our last meeting. If anybody has any changes to them that they want to make or concerns, this is when you would let us know. I don't know one.
Yeah. What is that?
And it was for the vice chair.
Mhm.
If, does, we had actually, she nominated herself, does that need to be?
She didn't do the motion.
Okay, all right, just making sure we got that.
So we had an actual motion and second after.
Great. Okay, so other than that, I didn't see anything either. So have a motion to approve.
I motion to approve the minute.
Okay. Second. Okay, thank you.
Okay. And then we can do a roll call vote.
Yeah.
Chair Morris,
Yes.
Vice Chair Wynn.
Here.
Commissioner Dolich.
Yes.
Commissioner Sangoni.
Yes.
Commissioner Stout.
Yes.
Okay, that is unanimous.
Okay, perfect, thank you. So next, sorry, I'm trying to say paper, I'm gonna get this all mixed up. We have in front of us tonight the work plan, and Casey sent a last year's work plan, so that's what we're gonna be working on. Tonight is our next year's work plan. So, do we need to ask? Yes, go ahead.
Oh, no, so staff to give a brief overview.
That would be
Yeah.
great.
Process.
That'd be great.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, so, what you have in front of you is annually, each commission, I know most of you are probably the first time from this group. Annually, they will, each commission will review their, essential goals for the year. And it's your plan over the next 12 months, what you hope to not only undertake, but accomplish. So you're trying to get a list of things that you're going to do, even if you have to break bigger projects and maybe multi-year projects into something that you can bite off in just 12 months. So I wanted to kind of go into a little bit of detail of how that works. So some of these things, we gave a sample of the previous work plan. Some of these items are very easy to take on and to accomplish within a year. Some of them are ongoing, some of them terminate as the end of their completion. But in essence, I don't believe there's anything on here that would be a project, that I'm gonna give you an example of right now. A project that would continue over multiple years but can be accomplished. An example of that would be input and a suggestion for council or recommendation council for the inclusion of whatever, a facility. such as the dog park. Let me just bring that one up. That, believe me, was a multi-year thing that the commission was involved in. They did take a piece of it though for the 12-year plan and put the piece that they can accomplish within that 12 months on their current work plan back in 2017. Okay, so that was like, okay, we're going to get surveys done to find out if there's interest in a dog park. That was that first year. The second year, they had something different. We're gonna go out and see it, and then they went on and on. So I just want to tell you, so those are the examples of ongoing things that you're gonna look at as far as putting them on the work plan. You're going to then look at things that you want to accomplish, projects to accomplish in 1 year. And then potentially, doesn't have to be any of those, but potentially items that are multi-year projects, if you all agree on it, and say, you know what, let's find out about X. And then we can do that in 12 months. Maybe not build a new swimming pool or anything, but we can find out if people are interested, okay? And staff will advise you as well, because at least myself, I've been here for 10 years, and I can give you kind of a history. Some of you probably are well versed in what's been put in front of this commission, what's been in front of the public, and what's been put in front of council in the past. So I can advise you on, hey, you know what? That's already been done. You might not want to really dive too far into that. So I can advise as the ideas come out. Then I can also talk about the process and how long some of those things takes. Remember, for those of you who aren't familiar with the situation, you are now part of the government. You are a branch of the government, you're a commission that advises the government. There is a process for a lot of things that takes a lot longer than the average person would understand. But once again, staff is here to help you with that. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. This is the plan for 12 months. You're gonna see in the work plan sample that was given to you, or what's on the screen right now, is you're gonna see columns. One of them is the goals, next one is the objectives, and then you go into projects. So the goals, it's been worked on a lot. Once again, this is, you only see the page you see on the screen. The page that was distributed is one page. That is definitely something that could be basically accomplished within a year. I have had commissions go up to 3 pages in the past. Once again, they created a list that probably wasn't accomplished, or that wasn't accomplished and probably shouldn't have been listed to that length. So just, once again, just advising you on how to set this up. But the goals that are listed there, if you've had time to review them over the last few days that it was posted, you might think these are good goals. Doesn't have to be the goals that are listed though, but let's consider all those. So the commissioners, you'll talk amongst yourself if, hey, if these goals are good. The objectives, basically just a description of what you're trying to do to get to those goals. So it's kind of somewhere in between the goal and actually the projects. The projects are where you get into the things that you do as commissioners. Now, what are we gonna do? Now, you can say the goal is to, once again, I'm giving examples here. Community event participation. The objective is to attend all community programs as commission. What's your project to do that? You're going to attend X event, or you're going to go out to the farmer's market or something like that. So that's basically how that's going to be broken down. The projects is really where you get into what you're going to do. The anticipated completion date, staff can help you with, because we can tell you when you're not going to accomplish the spring egg hunt by the end of January. That's just an example. Okay. So we can help you with that, or you can talk about the project. Hey, it's going to take this long to do the survey, or something like that. The priority source, that's going to be connected to the council. Now, this hopefully will answer some of the questions. The council, for some reason, they want to see the commission work plans. By the time they see it, they will have their goals done. The bad part is they don't have the 26 goals done. They won't do it until January. Okay. But they'll be able to give you input, and you'll be able to see that going into the joint meeting. The joint meeting will be in February at some point. This commission will go to the council chambers, sit down in front of council, and they're gonna have this work plan, and they're, once it's completed, and say, okay, good work plan, or hey, maybe you should add these things too. And you'll be able to discuss that across the table. Okay, so that will come into play, and especially they'll have their goals done. Hopefully they'll have the retreat done by that point. Unless something changes that I'm not aware of. So that's the plan for the priority source. And then the assignment, pretty self-explanatory. Which one of or two of you commissioners are going to work together on accomplishing that project? Okay, And the last column's for me.
Mhm.
Like, check this, and when this commission, which should be still in place, because most of you are still at the beginning or in the middle of the term. You'll be able to go back next February 2027, and hopefully have all this checked off on the site, and say you accomplished all of these things. Or if you did, you could explain where you want to process, okay? If there's any questions, I can take those now. If not, I think we can go, Chair Morris, I don't know how you wanted to do that. We want to cover column wise, maybe, do your goals, or did you want to go line by line?
I thought about the column wise. I wondered if maybe there was a brief brainstorm moment where people kind of dump what they're thinking and then we put them in. See what's overlapping and then put them in order if we agree to do them. But because otherwise, yeah, we can go over my goal first if you want. One thing I wanted to mention though is about the ad hoc subcommittee, or ad hoc committee, because it's different in how that works.
It's, yeah, it's different from back then, but the advantage,
So
it's not different for them, because they
Right,
don't know.
but I think they need to understand how that works with the ad hoc committee. So there is a limited amount of time that the committee forms and the committee is there to accomplish the particular goal that has been set. And then once it's done, that committee goes away, which makes sense, right? But if we go more than a year, if there's something on the work plan that needs to go more than a year, we have to agree as a commission on it.
Yeah, so just to clarify though, the assignments are not tied to committees.
Right.
So the
no,
assignments are
they're
not tied to committees. What she's talking about is if there is some specific project that needs to be worked on and a subcommittee, ad hoc committee needs to work on a site to accomplish that and bring back a final or a product that's close to final to this commission. That's different. Because you're limited to one
Yeah.
committee, one subcommittee, or one ad hoc committee at a time. The assignment just means that those people are gonna bring that together, those commissioners. Because in some cases, all of you are gonna attend the Halloween movie, or all of you are gonna. So,
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, so that's fine, if we wanna go from goal to goal, or if people have like a short list of things that they're thinking, and you wanna share it, we can start that way, whichever way feels right to this group. I'm okay with it. Do you wanna do a brain dump of what you're thinking?
In terms of goals. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, in terms of ideas.
Yeah.
Of what people would like to maybe put on the work plan, and then we can see if there's support for it, and then work on putting it on the plan. Is that-
So reverse them, just bring up all the ideas, the projects,
Yeah, so we're going.
and then
back.
go say, okay, with all of these, here are our goals.
Huh.
And then,
Well,
and then the columns, or do you wanna?
yeah, I mean, I guess
Come
it
up
does
with
come
these.
up too with, but it's just ideas of what people wanna see happen on the commission, because we have so many new people. It seems like we need to understand what people wanna do, and I was thinking there are kind of categories, right? We have the park and recreation, we have the art, we have the cultural, so we can even categorize them and then look at how we're gonna fit them into this if we're going to. If there's support. Is that seeming cumbersome to you?
That could work. I think if, what you could do though too is look at the current goals and see if there's any modifications to those goals that you want to
Okay,
make.
we can do
And
that.
then once you're done, that whole
What
column
we
is done,
can
and then you can dump the
Yeah, I
ideas
think
and
that
fit them
would
into
be
those.
nice.
That's
Otherwise,
fine,
we
that's
can-
That's okay?
Okay, I just don't wanna lock people into what we have on here. So realize this is our last year's one, we're going into a new thing and we have new people, so I wanna make sure you feel free to be adding things to it and not get stuck.
Yeah, the goals are real general, so you
Okay.
could agree that
All right.
these are good goals, or I've got another goal, maybe we want to.
Totally fine. Great,
Perfect.
so community outreach. Increasing the community outreach, do people have any comments about it? Do you feel like it's one we wanna continue with?
Yes, I think it's great. And it, if we want to kind of talk specifically later, with the objective, kind of identifying ways to gather feedback. I mean, a lot of these are kind of attending, going to farmer's market or getting public input. There could be other ways that we increase community outreach.
Yeah.
too. So, but I like the goal.
like
I
the
actually
goal.
like all of the goals.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright, so that's great,
Yeah.
so, how does everybody else feel? Ellen, are you on board with that?
With what you just said, yeah.
Does it go
Yeah.
to William for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Outreach.
In terms of like implementation, like one thing I spoke about this when I was running for this position is that I do feel like Los Altos feels quite segmented in a way, and then there was like the North, and I still real estate here, right? So I actually interact a lot with the community.
So hold those thoughts. We're gonna come back to it. Because we're right now just figuring out if we wanna keep these goals.
Got
Okay, so not to be rude, but
Okay.
I'm gonna try and keep this
I
moving.
do feel like this approach, people are just gonna keep like spilling over with stuff they want to add, and you're just. No offense, gonna keep correcting them that it's not the time, and I wonder maybe if each of us could just have like one sentence or 1 minute. To say something that we're particularly excited about, so that we don't try to like insert it into this. Review of what we have, would anybody be okay with that, or,
I'm okay with it.
okay?
Like a minute for each.
But still within that.
Well, so I just interrupted and said, hold the thought. So I just said, hold that thought, and so I think you're responding to that, because we had another time with Misty that was also, elaborating on that a little bit, so that's fine. If you wanna add a little bit, go ahead, I'm trying to be mindful of meeting time too. So, okay, so do you wanna,
Sure, I'll say one thing,
but so do you, first before you do, I'm so sorry, are you in agreement to keep the goal?
yes,
Okay, great, all right, so then go ahead.
and I'm just saying something general.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm very interested in the spring fund and in, new surfaces, for the parks, playgrounds or whatever, and in cultural, like add-on culturals to what we're already doing, like more inclusive.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the first one you said?
The spring, the egg hunt,
Oh,
yeah,
Oh, this bring it back.
Okay. So those are things you're interested in participating in?
or adding
Or
to this
adding,
list.
got it,
Yeah.
okay, great, all right,
Do you have, I don't want to take your role.
thanks, I appreciate that,
Yeah.
that's great, so I think we're all in agreement, we wanna keep this goal, we're gonna talk about how we're gonna keep the goal, what we wanna see happen in that goal as we move forward. So let's know that we've done that, so if other people wanna do what Erin did, which is share with us what she's most interested in, please, I'm happy to have you do that. And as we go, so expansion of public art, you can see what we did last year for that. I actually wanted to, have maybe give us an update on that, or see if there's interest, I'm interested in keeping it. But I think I need to talk to you about that, Manny, and to understand where we're at with it. So having that, partnership with Arts Los Altos, so.
That project's, I mean, I think it would be best to just ignore the projects at this point.
Okay, all
For your
right,
expansion of public art, there has to be, obviously what you've seen is community outreach. That's what the commission is doing right now.
yeah,
But beyond that, you could expand that once you start getting into the projects.
yeah,
Expansion of public art is really what the previous commission just decided, that's gonna be the art component that we do in addition to what we already have. So they broke that out as a goal, cause the other art items probably fell under the ongoing parks, once again, that's how that commission put it together. So if there wants to be the goal of expanding and have regular ongoing art or something, maybe that's the goal. I don't know how you want to do it, but that there's some kind of art component to go beyond what we already do, either include it with the regular stuff, or as this one states, expand. And there was one project under that last commission, so.
and we were tasked as a commission to do that outreach.
Yeah, that one,
So that's why it was specifically.
yeah, that one specifically it was an interest of some of the council members.
Yeah.
To really try to form something with the Arts Los Altos, so that became a straight project.
I have a question about that.
Sure.
Is that what you're advertising right now online? The Parks and Rec Department doing the art submission? Oh, that's the cultural,
That's,
that's not the arts.
that's here,
Yeah.
that's you. So, I mean,
I think that's probably under this.
yeah, that's an ongoing,
Yeah, so this, it probably falls under this. Okay, yes, what is it, they're calling for, artwork or something?
It'll be in
Representing
our,
Old
yeah,
Town?
and we'll
Okay.
cover it in the
So that's
announcement.
not. any-
No, it's not part of it.
That's not expanding, that's a regular ongoing.
Right, so expansion of public art. Anybody wanna keep it or not keep it? I don't want to keep it.
I think we need more information.
Yeah, I think I need to understand
I-
more
I don't know
what that means.
Like I'm saying, this
And
could
how
have
it's
been put a
different from
different way.
what's here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The previous commission separated it because they wanted to focus on expanding, and they had other ideas too. But you could put it together and just public art focus or, you know, enrich the community with public, however you want to do that. And then you could put other things under there. So, I mean, that's as much, once again, this is as much information as I can give you from the previous commission. You could just scratch that off and just start from the beginning. How are you gonna incorporate public arts?
I don't want to write, I just need,
Yeah, it was specifically on there because we were tasked with working with Arts Los Altos. So we were
Which is-
asked to, the commission was asked to work with the Arts Los Altos, which is a private organization in town that does a lot of the murals and quite a bit of the sculptures.
so like a nonprofit.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I guess they are nonprofit.
Is this?
And we did not accomplish it, so that's why I would like to keep it on. I would like to follow up with it and see if we're doing anything.
Can I ask a clarifying question? Is there, and I looked on the website to try to find kind of all the projects that Parks and Rec is doing currently ongoing
With art?
around art.
Oh,
All the projects we're doing around community events. So we have an idea of what does it mean to say expand, what does it mean to increase from what? So that would be helpful, and you know, when I look at various kind of Los Altos programming, I see some things are Los Altos Village Association, some things are the Kiwanis, some things are, and they all kind of, you know, like Festival of Lights, for example, great event, and I'm like, okay, who is that? It's, okay, it's Los Altos Village Association, there's a lot of overlap, so that would kind of be helpful, at least for me, to see that, so then when we're talking about Arts Los Altos and increasing or expanding, what does that mean? So,
It's a very non-specific goal, and I don't think we'll ever know if we accomplished it or not, because there's no metric or anything to measure it by.
Actually, we had a project that we brought, the commissioners brought forward, and so there was a little bit of a stall with it, but there was something, it's very measurable. We were going to work with them on a project. So, I think we have a map of all the different artwork in town, and that's probably helpful. There's also a list online of all the artwork that we have, as a city, and so that can be helpful. But as far as the projects go, that park does, art, recreation and cultural, we back up a lot of what the staff does, and.
everything's gonna be. So
Yeah.
everything you're asking that this commission does is on here. There's
Yeah.
nothing outside of this that you do,
so there's
except
nothing,
as a volunteer. If you're an individual volunteer, it's different. But the commission, as represented by this commission, it's gonna be on the sheet, and it should be. So that question is answered. Now, what you're asking though is community-wide, right? What goes on? You brought up the Festival of Lights, you brought up some other events.
right,
That we have to gather a bunch of information from outside sources. To try to find out exactly what goes on. We have an idea, and I think we can find that in general, because Kiwanis does something.
like the Art and Wine Festival and things like
Yeah, Lava does things, Chamber does things. I mean, there's a lot of information to gather, and so I don't know how important that is, because those are major events that this commission is not gonna do. Because they're specifically,
Do they collaborate with you?
no, they don't. For the most part,
Totally separate from the
for the
city.
most part, they are separate from the city, and they do it. We support them by closing down streets and having PD. They're securing streets and stuff like that. But for the most part, the events that you're talking about, Festival of Lights, Art One, that is done outside. Yeah.
but I found out who's all doing it, so, so whatever the Parks and Rec and the Arts and Culture, it's here. The
Yes.
Spring Egg Hunt,
Halloween.
Everything
Oh,
else,
I see.
just
Finding
commission is involved, that
disassociation.
should be on. So now, the thing that you would support, anything you would support for the Parks and Rec, for the city departments is also on. Such as
Mhm,
the summer concerts, the, yeah, things like that.
mhm, mhm. Okay. That's helpful, because I was conflating things. and
Yeah.
it needs to be a
However,
lot.
It's easy to do.
Yeah,
stepping on these other organizations, if we didn't know what they're doing.
No,
what
because-
they're doing.
We'll always be
I'll
told
advise you.
if we're in the wrong area.
If you wanna do a parade on the 4th of July, I will advise you on that.
Okay,
But that's just an example.
so you know, but, what-
I know in general the events, yes.
Yeah.
As far as dates and stuff go.
So. This, I just wanted to continue to work on that because we didn't finish it, but that doesn't mean that we have to, I think.
Sure, then we can look at that as projects come up, but as far as goals go, are we going to revisit the goal of expanding art and make it something else?
Could we make it more specific to the project?
Yeah. We were, so what we did is we met with the Arts Los Altos people to decide on what project to do, so it wasn't something you were making a decision alone about, so. So I feel like if, because we were asked to do it and specifically with them, that I feel that it would be good to go to council and say, we did meet with them, we didn't accomplish this. And then even, do you want us to continue to move forward on it? Maybe that's the way to do it.
Teresa, what happened? What happened?
We had an idea and, I think it was going to be looked into, we were gonna look into whether or not we could do it for the bench that we were talking about. The mosaic project by the, what do you call it?
Downtown.
The Veterans Plaza.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, so we got that far, we didn't get to the next step. So
but you did create the partnership with Arts Los Altos.
we did have a conversation, yeah, and said that we wanted to do it.
And that is a general thought. You know,
It is.
It's not a specific project, that's thing, it's not create mosaic bench or something like that, it just says create a partnership, what does that mean?
And we did, I mean, we did meet with them, we just didn't go any further than that, so.
Okay, if I have a question, so I think in terms of, for me personally, the events are clear, like, to your point, like, we understand, I think, what you guys do versus Lava. I'm not sure if I'm clear on the art piece, right, because we have art again at the bottom. Can you share some very tangible things that fall under your umbrella from last year?
Okay, sure, they're going down here into, if you go on to ongoing parks and art and political participation. The first thing there is select the theme and hang the selected art in the community center gallery. This hallway here is considered the gallery. We will do twice a year, we will do a call for art. Now, this is important. When I say call for art, I'm saying, yeah, call for art. To remind you that that is something that you're gonna utilize for anything that's art related, where you're trying to bring in artists to display things. Okay, so then for that is, we do a call for art. We do it as a department. That's something, it's a system we are familiar with, we get into. So once this commission decides what we're gonna do with call for art on, which we already know is an ongoing annual or semi-annual thing, that we change over the art for whatever themes that are gonna come up.
Okay,
So you'll come up either once or twice a year, depending on if you wanna do two things at the same time, you will come up with those themes. You'll hand it over to us and Parks and Recreation, that's my staff, who will take care of doing the call for art, bringing the art. You will get involved again as a commission to decide on which ones to choose on that call for art, and then to actually physically hang up on the wall, and we will have our staff prepare that. So that's the first thing, that's an ongoing regular thing that this commission is on. The next thing is update the public art listing and brochure annually. That really is, since it was just recently done, it's really just a flyer. You're just looking at it and saying, okay, what changes have we had? I can help with that, because a lot of times I'll be getting so many calls and things are gonna be happening so fast, I won't be able to give you all the information on, okay, this artist and this artist and this artist, they all pulled their art because their rental agreement is up. And they didn't want to renew it, and so we go more call for arts, we do that system. to replace those art pieces. Or we negotiate with the artist to say, give us another piece, or can you leave it for another 2 years, because everybody loves it. Something like that. So that is just those things, which I'm going kind of out of order here. Those things will be done, and as a response, you will update the brochure.
So it's an administrative.
Yeah,
task. Okay.
exactly. So right here, it'll just be, okay, what have you talked about? What are we doing here? Then my staff will update it in our system, but this commission, whoever's assigned to it, will actually take the information to a printer and say, okay, now let's make these copies, because that's what the previous commission's done. We have money for it, and in the art fund, and so we'll either reimburse or pay up front for whoever gets that printed out. But that system has to be updated. Now, the previous person that did it, I'm not sure exactly what system they use. I'm gonna probably get that information from them. So we have some kind of template to work off of and just make changes on that. But it includes pictures. If you've seen the art brochure, it has pictures, it has the artist and location map and everything. So that needs to be updated as things come and go in public art. Then the next one down on the bottom one, select call for art for artists for Art Without Walls program. Now, this is an old term. I was even a little confused about how we use that. Art Without Walls is basically not hanging a wall, to taking the literal sense, not hanging on the wall, but it's just out in public. So
Like a sculpture.
sculptures, exactly, the things you see out in front here, out back here, in our parks. So there's no walls, there's sculptures. So, yeah, so that's what we're looking at. So, sometimes, like I was saying, with updated brochure, those artists, we own many of those pieces. Maybe it's an old piece, maybe it needs to be removed or something like that. We'll replace a piece that we own. Most of the things are on rental, though, or I would say, I wouldn't say most, maybe half of them are on rental. So when those 2-year agreements go up, we pay them, I forgot what it is.
$1,500.
Yes, $1,500 for the 2-year, and they get exposure and they get their name out there in the brochure. We will post those sculptures up for that period, but then when the 2 years is up, we need to, as a commission, decide what to do with that space.
Does that include the sculptures downtown, or is that under Arts Los Altos?
This, yeah,
Where it gets.
this is where it gets a little confusing. So it does, in short, it does include the sculptures downtown that are on public property. There are private property where there's sculptures on private property that we do not regulate. So that's where,
It's a mix.
yeah, so let me kind of set the scene for you. This is where I think I know council wanted to create a partnership with Arts Los Altos, because Arts Los Altos has a separate brochure for private downtown things. So a partnership could make a grand brochure for the whole community, so they're not looking at 2 brochures. It could include all the art in the city rather than this is public, this is private. So I think that's really where council is targeting that partnership, is with that. Didn't mean that was all that it had to be. I mean, other projects, like, okay, we're gonna start with this mosaic bench or something like that. So, but in speaking to council and hearing what they were saying at the joint meeting last year, that's kind of where they wanted this commission to start thinking about that partnership. Because exactly what you're saying, do we do something?
Right.
So, and to finalize that with the Art Without Walls, those sculptures. Also, the thing that's not on this list, because we didn't have time to accomplish it last year, but actually, I can't say it. We did accomplish, staff accomplished it. Staff went ahead and did some maintenance on some of our artwork. So what this commission will do as well is look at artwork and decide what's the priority for maintaining what we currently have that we own. So if we own a piece, there's certain pieces that we own that the metal may be deteriorating, they may need repainting, stuff like that. There are funds for that to spend, limited funds though, so we can't do everything all at once, and staff, it would be a nightmare trying to manage a project like that. But start saying, okay, we're gonna spend, and I think our last, we did 3 pieces of art, right? Something like that, for $70,000. We just, they took them down, they redid them, fixed them up, repainted them, set them back out there. So the year before, it was a small amount, but they did those little animals out in front of the library. I forgot which pieces were done based on.
I can't remember which ones either, but I know one year there were 4, and I think this last one is 2. So
Yeah, so
it's ongoing.
that is something that's not on the list because it was already done by the time council talked to this commission. But this is something that we're gonna have to decide as a commission, what's the priority for what's out there. And some of you probably already know, you're looking at art like, that one, the base of it's starting to deteriorate there, that might be put on something like that. And then the commission will put it together. So that's in general, the ongoing things that the art commission does. The thing that was unsaid, but I think we, Chair Morris kind of alluded to, was it could be special art projects and call for art. There was a call for art for the, for painting the front of the council chambers last year. That process never materialized, but stuff like that was like, hey, you know what? We need a new piece over here. We need a mural, which actually is on my list of items that I will discuss with you. Because going forward in future commission meetings, that's gonna be a perfect example of something that doing a call for art or a mural at the new library remodel in Woodland or something like that. So, which that's very specific to this trip. But anyway, that's the other thing that's not on here because there was nothing to put that. So anyway, that's all.
And the Halloween movie night, just so it's clear for new commissioners, is we get a list of movies. And then we select from that list of movies, so just don't run out and start studying movies. I mean, you can.
So as far as goals go,
Yeah.
the art, there probably should be something, I mean, like I said, maybe it's combined with just art in general, expanding art, whatever. Or expanding, maintaining art or something like that, like you're saying, so it's not confusing, it's not in two separate categories. All the arts in one goal, and then all your projects are listed under, so maybe that's what you want to do.
Do it that way. I think the thing is to understand the difference between those two items on the plan is that one clump of it is just ongoing all the time, and we need to be doing it as part of the commission work. And then the other is whether we're gonna expand it in a different way than the call for arts and not art without walls. So, because those are ongoing, if we drop, it would be neglecting, right, the art part of it, the basic art part of it, so. So as a general thing, the category, the goal of expansion of public art, does anybody find value in that now that you understand the other parts of this? Okay.
Like we need to discuss it more,
Okay.
I need to work on that.
Mhm.
I definitely see the value. I did, agree with Aaron's point about, having measurable metrics on the plan. I think that these are very good directions to be like facing, but it's probably good to have something to be able to check off, because it says the last column is literally done. And I feel like if we have a metric or at the risk of using tech words, but KPI that we can check off. Is that what you meant by metric?
Yeah, just not maybe KPI. Yeah, but something tangible, like an event would be one thing, I could be doing the holistic brochure. Or having a liaison to our Santos, and that person reports back to us, like there's a lot of different ways we could go, but something more specific. And under the larger umbrella, which already talks about art, or maybe that's separated into parts in one area and arts in the other area, but, okay, yeah, like a measurable end goal instead of necessarily like all the steps that it takes to get there. That would be good too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Should we do a show of hands about whether we're gonna keep the expansion of public art if we are more specific? Okay.
Well, if we're more specific.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like
This is our first column, and then we're gonna dig it out, if we
So the goal
decide
remains
as
the
we.
same, is what you're
The
saying.
goal remains the same, and if we decide as we do it that we don't wanna keep it when we get to how we're gonna do it, then, we can revisit whether we're keeping it, so. Community event participation. I think, Director Hernandez made it clear what that's about, and it's fairly self-explanatory where we pitch in, but also we can host tables of our own. So, for example, at the, farmer's market, we had a table there at least a couple times. And had brochures there and handed out giveaways and told people about us and talked to them about the art. And encouraged them to do the walking tour of the different art in the city, so we can do that. We can do what we want, at one of the tables, we can have activities, just so that we get out there more and let people know that we exist as a commission. So that's part of it, and then pitching them with whatever staff needs help with, so the family fun days, those are quarterly, right? Quarterly.
Yeah.
And, they can always use help, and if they have our help, they don't have to bring in as much staff, and they're really fun, and it's a really nice way, in my opinion, to get to know residents and other residents, and then, I mean, I've seen kids go from being newborn to, walking, doing them, so it's a really nice community event. And, it's good to participate in it, and then hosting the Halloween movie night, that's fairly simple. We can put a table up, we can have an activity there if we want to. It's dark really early now, but that is something we can do. And then the spring egg hunt, we show up and just participate in however staff needs us.
So community event participation as a goal remains.
I think it does, but everybody okay with that? Yes.
Can I ask a specific question on the project? You were talking about walking tours. Has the city done those as part of the?
No, what I was saying is when we tabled and we had the art brochure that, the other commissioners did, we were able to say, well, I was able to say, look at these art things, you can walk around with your kids and you can actually tour them and,
Well, that'd be a kind of cool thing that the commission could do, is do walking tours.
yeah,
Actually, and historically too.
Yeah.
The art and the different parts of the city.
yep, sounds good. So that would be something you might wanna add on.
Yeah.
Into our community. Cultural programming. We have the Moon Festival.
You want me to talk?
Yeah,
about
talk
this?
about what we have.
Okay, so this one was worded by the previous commission as increased cultural programming. I guess I can say it. Increased cultural programming being the goal of the commission. Basically, what we wanted to do was charge the commissioners with creating additional programming without needing additional staff burden. Or burden on this commission. So any kind of cultural program, we don't know that of the 6 or 7 that were members of this commission would have the expertise to run a cultural program. They may not. They may have the knowledge, they may not have the resources. So with that, and staff also feel the same way. I mean, I have limited full-time staff and then a lot of part-time staff, but I can't say that I have an expert to run a cultural program. What I did was my staff and I, we all went out and started looking for experts in this. And we recruited them to come in. We found the Chinese, there's just another example, the Los Altos Chinese American Association that came in. And they actually did the Moon Festival, the first one, with the Autumn Festival, Moon Festival. In October, they did this one event and we tried it together. And it worked out really well because they had the expertise, they had the staff to do it, the volunteers to do it. They had the organization to build it, and it was a fantastic event here. And my staff didn't have to come in and work that because they already have a list of events to do. And I didn't have to have the entire commission coming in to help them. Certain commissioners showed up and assisted, like, hey, how can I check people in? Can I give out wristbands, whatever those things look like. And this is for all the cultural events that we're doing. We would bring in the experts to run an event and then see what assistance or what support or what partnerships that my department and you as commissioners can provide to them. I would waive fees for the building. You would, host a room that they would create the lanterns and whatever that is. So that those are real examples. So with that, that's how we've handled the cultural events. So just to show you the Chinese Association, they did the Moon Festival and they've actually kind of switched on that now because they did 2 festivals. One was a co-sponsorship with my department, so I brought them in, and they did the Moon Festival in October, and then they tried to do Lunar New Year, and, was that late January, February? So they'll do those two events. One of them was a co-sponsorship because to take up the entire facility, I wanted to give more opportunities to other cultural events. I didn't want them to do two, maybe 3 a year, depending on the events, that the groups would come up with. So with that, they actually have switched. They do the Moon Festival, I believe, somewhere else now, like the museum, I think is what they're doing. And then they do the Lunar New Year here with us, and that's our partnership. So that's one example. Another example that would, come in is the, Mala. I believe it's, Muslim Americans of Los Altos. And they do the iftar event. So that is a cultural event that they do here. It's a dinner. And we support them in the same manner we support the Lunar New Year. And Justice Vanguard also does a Juneteenth event. They do a couple of things with them. We really partner with the movie that they do. But then they have the event out there, and we also partner with that. They actually do more of that than us. Our commissioners go and they volunteer or something like that. But they don't have a whole lot of input into, and actually they don't have a whole lot of input in any of these events. We leave it to the experts, and actually think that their staff and their resources, it's much better to do. And I've been doing that in my career history too, with things like the Holy Festival, I believe, and also the Polynesian Festival as well. So I've done events like that, but once again, I would bring in a couple of staff to pick up the trash in the park or something after. But other than that, I leave it to the experts to run those things. That's what my department has done. And that's what this is on here for the commissioners to see if they can expand on those programs and look for other events to do, or actually be a part of this and just go out and research. And last year, I think there was some involvement in the Chinese New Year.
Yes,
I
there
think
were
by the commission.
at least 2 commissioners went to that.
Yeah, so there's some representation there. I believe there's one commissioner that went to the Juneteenth event.
I did. There
And
were
I'm
2
not
of us.
sure, oh, it was
There
two
were 2
people.
of us, yeah.
Yeah, so those are just examples of how you can be involved in that. Almost the same way that you would support Parks and Rec events as well, so.
Right. My recollection is the Chinese Association, they sent out a sign up sheet for us to be able to fit in the slots if we wanted to do it. And then with the Justice Vanguard, they also had a sign up sheet that was sent around, and we could sign up for shifts on that too. And then the Hala, I think they did not want help with it.
No,
We
it's
all,
not
I think we
huge,
offered, but they didn't.
Yeah,
want it,
there's not a lot. to
Yeah,
do.
so,
But they did.
yeah.
So I think that goal, if you keep it worded the same or keep it in the same concept, that goal could be something that could definitely be expanded on. Look for new cultural events to bring in and stuff like that, so.
That one, I did see that there were a bunch of different emails from the public about possible events that they wanted to bring in, right? They.
There's always ideas. I've
Okay,
had.
so there's one today, right?
And there was one today, yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
but they-
But they weren't specific on the event itself, but I think they did say something.
I think the email you mentioned had specific examples.
Oh, it did?
For the Jewish cultural,
Oh.
she had 4 or 5 examples of something that she wanted to work on putting together.
Yeah, and that'd be great. I do caution of just adding something like that out there, because as much as people have these ideas, that they want to do these things, you 6 have to come up with where you're gonna get the resources for that. So just to make it easier for you, is you can put this on there under that goal and say, research the Jewish events and what we could possibly do in the upcoming year. So, and I can explain how projects are internally done as well, as we get into some other things like the movie events.
So you're recommending going with organizations or
Yes, for cultural events, I really do.
instead of individual people?
Yes, I really do, unless you feel that you have the resources, because I don't know your expertise, and I don't know who you know. Because, I mean, one of my commissioners in a previous agency I worked for, one of my commissioners had the resources to get dancers from Fiji to fly in. For Polynesian Festival, I couldn't believe it. She had friends from Hawaii come in for certain music and they fire dancers. She had that expertise, so if anybody has that expertise here, I'm not saying you don't. So if you do and you feel I can run this thing, I have the resources and the expertise, I would encourage, yeah.
So the funds come from the organization, at the most you provide this maybe space, you donate space, is that?
Space and support, such as like, the Lunar New Year, the Lunar New Year. For that event, we bring up all the setups. I have staff here to set up a stage for them. They can decorate and stuff like that. If they need ladders to decorate stuff, I will have staff to support that. Just support staff though. Most of we're not gonna be planning stuff, we're not gonna be running things.
Well, if there's any food involved or materials, who pays for that? The organizations?
That's a larger conversation. The organizations do for the most. Yes, they do for the Lunar New Year. I'm going back to that.
Yeah.
Highly sponsored event. I mean, we're talking about, Waymo or, no, I said Waymo. It was BMO, I think that bank, whatever it is, the bank, right? BMO. Yeah, they supported that a lot. They had a table here saying, hey, look, this is us. And they supported, but a lot of their funds came from donations.
So the city is not gonna go.
The city is not on the hook for now. If there's a project, so let's just say, as an example, let's just say, we wanna look into this and you put it in there, we wanna look into Jewish events specifically, over the next 12 months. And pick one out. That process could start over the next 6 to 8 months. Once a decision comes, okay, we're going to do, I don't know, whatever Jewish event seems the most reasonable, because you're gonna talk to other people that have these ideas. Then you can talk to staff, and there's a possibility, you can put it in the budget for next year, if hey, we have experts to do this, but they don't have enough sponsors or think that they get sponsorship up to $5,000, what can the city provide? Let's ask council, you're gonna need X amount of dollars, but somebody's gonna have to plan that event out to say, we need X amount of dollars. I put in the budget, come June, put it in front of council, and if they approve it, now my department has a budget for that event, and then your experts can do the event.
So it helps me wrap my head around what cultural means in this context. It seems like festivals about 4 hour long event. But, to turn it on its head, it could be like, we have a chili cook-off and everybody brings flavors from around the world and we like taste how all the different chilies taste. Like very small compared to, $5,000 festival. Or it could be at the wine festival, we have a wines of the world section where we try wines from all different cultures. So I'm not gonna propose this yet because I'm brand new and maybe that would be too much work. But to be more specific about this goal, it's really about festivals at this point.
Cultural events.
Cultural
So,
events.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, right now, at this point, what we've recruited to come in
Mhm.
have been events.
Yeah.
Okay. But I have seen other ways to bring these in. So, for instance, this family, the family fun days.
Mhm.
The family fun days, if you could bring some cultural aspect to that and have one room in the Grand Oak Room that has dancers, lion dancers or something like that.
Yeah.
That could be an addition, just small things like that. Also I'm not sure if you can really consider it cultural, sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. But my Arts and Culture Commission previous years ago, actually, they had, they had like a harpist come in on Sundays, like every one Sunday a month. They have a harpist come into the grand room and play there, and then they have a piano player come in. So there was cultural aspects to that, depending on if they had what's that?
Yeah.
Not the sitar player or something like, so you can bring a cultural aspect to music
Mhm.
or performances.
Yeah.
So just to tell you, that's something that was, that was done, and that's something simple. You could have
Right.
Sunday concerts of 10 a year or something throughout the year, and the 6 of you can do that. You can do it in the lobby. So those are just some ideas that you can bring and just think of the cultural aspect that you're bringing in, that you're bringing a cultural, everything from, who knows, a banjo to a sitar or something.
I have a logistic question. So it sounds like if, let's say, we came up with something new that has not been done. It sounds like you said 6 to 8 months. So is that, am I understanding it correctly? It would be then implemented.
I always wanted to be an attorney, but let me talk like an attorney. It depends. It depends. So something like that event, I could probably figure out a way to get funding for something smaller. some kind of support for a major event in the tens of thousands of dollars or something, that may be a budget thing that you're gonna have to explore and get into the budget.
And that's in June.
Yeah, the budget cycle goes in front of council in June, the budget preparation starts in February. So, once again, not promising anything, but yeah, council would decide that if that's the way. And you're still, like I said, it depends, because you're not really bound by that. If it's some great idea and we have the space, that's the other factor. If you wanna do this event or even, something simple like a cultural music or something, you need the space too. And we book out 6 months to almost a year for weddings and other festival, events for families and stuff. So we have to find the space too. So it does take time for most of this.
I wanted to build on, your name is Eric?
Yeah, Aaron, yeah.
Aaron?
Yeah.
Build on your idea, if we could simplify things and.
Hold on a second, sorry to interrupt, but let's keep going on our goals.
Yeah, I'm talking about the cultural.
Okay,
So you wanna move on to the?
no, but when you're going to talk about it, you said that you're gonna flesh it out. You wanna
Yeah.
talk about what we're gonna put in it?
Yeah, you don't want.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay.
Hold it, make a note, let's
Okay.
come back, because we need to flesh it out, but let's figure out where we're going next, I think, on this one.
Is that goal then, the wording seem reasonable?
Increase the
or
cultural
just
programming.
Get involved in, I don't know how this commission wants to word it, but there should be a cultural aspect of it.
Yeah. And there should be a word in front of that word.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think you are increasing it, because we already have some basic ones,
So-
right?
Okay,
So,
here's an idea.
yeah.
Give me a second. Okay, we'll get to
I can tell, I saw it.
increase cultural programming, you can leave that the same. Because what we'll do is, well, actually, she's gonna do it. She's gonna figure it out. So what we'll do is, once we have a final draft, you're gonna come and approve it in January before it goes to council. So in this time, now that you're understanding more in these 2 hours that we're gonna be here, you'll probably know more in January and say, you know what, I found the word that should go in front of
There
it.
may be some words that,
Yeah.
I'll wake up in the middle of the night.
like that, I would have up in real time to suggest.
Not even that, it's this or something. So,
Okay,
so we could just leave it the same so we could. move
unless
on.
somebody has something now that they want, that they think really needs to be there instead of that word.
I think we're in agreement on the spirit.
Yes, the spirit
Yeah.
remains.
Okay, good, all right. And then the last goal category or section is the ongoing Parks and Arts input and participation. We went over this pretty thoroughly earlier, and other than rewording it, it's kind of one of those things that belongs here in the word.
Could I speak
Yeah.
here about previous commission? So the previous commission, I did advise them that they could keep it for sake of. They felt that these are ongoing things. However, if you look at each of the tasks, you could probably categorize them from other ones above. So you're not separating. So the confusion begins is, okay, what's the difference between expansion of art program and ongoing art programs? You've got them in 2 different goals. If it's 2 different goals, well, that's fine. We have ongoing stuff that we're always gonna do. However, if you want to place them, and like I said, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying if you want to place them in a specific category. So for example, update the public art listing and brochure annually. If you wanna put that in expansion of public art, that would probably fit too. So I'm just giving you a suggestion.
Yeah, I think that's, looks a little weird that Halloween would be kind of hanging out down there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's a little late. That's right. Yeah, it could be up and thrown out like a sneak.
It is part of the Halloween, movie. Selecting a movie is part of the Halloween.
That should go up in.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's really hard to want to categorize, and you just get rid of this goal.
I think we phrase it probably more than ever.
Yeah, I feel like it's very much its own thing, but I think of it as ongoing, like these are the meat and potatoes of this. Yeah, no, and so I don't know how I mean, I feel like these are things we have to do, so, be it the housekeeping kind of thing or whatever, but I mean, it's okay if we fit it in somewhere else, but I don't think we can draw.
So it is possible that each category could have things that are meat and potatoes and things that are like specific to that year. And maybe as some of them get more established, some of the things to that year would become meat and potatoes.
Teresa, my thoughts on this may be totally out of line, but there's really nothing about parks in this.
Yeah.
And is
Oh, you're talking about the last section?
Yeah, are we on the last goal?
Mhm.
That's the last previous goal. So
Right.
This is where we're going, once again,
Okay.
we're going
Yeah,
over
this
the
is last
first
year.
previous goals.
Is the goal from the council?
No,
That's the commission.
although they approved this plan,
Okay,
so the council approved it.
So
No.
goals can be added.
yeah, my criticism
And
is
change.
nothing is being done with parks, with new parks or new pathways or new green spaces or. And I think that's, a big hole. in updating the playground,
Mhm.
We're looking at all the parks, and do they need revisions, do they need updates, retrofits, do we need green spaces someplace else?
Mhm.
So,
No, right, there's a gap in there.
and the new downtown park that we're talking about, do we get involved in that? I know I asked you about that. I mean, I think that would be good for us to get involved,
I agree. I
Yeah.
think Parks is the same.
For sure.
Absolutely.
so.
So it sounds like we wanted 48.
What about the goal? You want to create another, you want to keep this goal then?
Or maybe.
Ongoing
Or
stuff?
just call it an art goal instead of.
There's too much going on in this school. I mean,
It's mostly art.
I think everything under this goal stays somewhere, whether
Yeah.
it stays as it is or it moves around. It's kind of, we have until January to figure that out. But
We'll
what,
get it drafted.
what we're missing, let's just put it as something else for right now,
Mhm.
so that we can talk about it.
So having a park goal, having some input on park.
yeah,
I think we're jumping around. So if we could decide on this ongoing goal, is that something that just stays and we'll work with it over the next month?
Without park is what people are
Exactly,
saying.
that's what I'm saying.
So no, the goal is going to change. It will be ongoing art input and participation, but parks will come out and parks will be its own separate goal.
Yeah.
If I'm hearing everybody correctly, that's what,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's ongoing art input and participation, which could probably be wordsmithed in a much better way. Or a different way, and then having an actual park goal, and that's what we have to discuss. So that's what came up, so what are people thinking? I heard a few things thrown out. So I think we maybe need to talk about how the park
Yeah,
thing goes, how this works.
so it depends on what you want as a goal. Because remember, the goal that you put here is something that you can accomplish as a commission. So I would suggest that you talk about what your objective would be for this goal. And then possibly even what your projects would be for this goal. And then I can advise you on that, because let's just take the downtown park that you brought up. The downtown park, did you see my response to that one? No, it's my email response.
I saw your email response, but I don't remember what you said. about
Okay,
the parks.
so with that, with downtown park, for instance, it's not something that you can go out and get and bring to this table and say, okay, we're getting involved in this. It's something that's going on right now that will eventually come.
Oh,
It has to and will come. So I don't know in what form it will be, but they will ask you input, just like the outdoor playgrounds, just like the outdoor fitness, stuff like that. The staff will bring it here, the architects need to put something together and bring it to you as a product. This is just an example, because there's gonna be more stuff that comes to you as ongoing. But yeah, as far as park go, now, the other caution I have is, that's something that's gonna happen, so it's really, you could put it as a goal, as in we will provide input for projects such as downtown park and whatever, if that's how you can put it. But I'm not sure exactly what else, and you have to talk about what else you're talking about that would fit under whatever this goal is, as far as expansion of parks, because we're definitely limited on land, we're limited on funds, now you're talking millions of dollars that this commission can not make a decision on, you can only make recommendations. So I just caution you on that, on getting something, because remember, I go back to what I started with this work plan, do something that's accomplishable. Something that you can accomplish. So if you're talking about expanding, park space, believe me, and this is where I come in, on what I said earlier, I can advise you on what's happened in the past. Commissions, and Teresa's been involved in some of those previous commissions, have done this before, and they've looked for more park space and park ideas, grading systems of available land. We brought that all before and nothing's really amounted to. The number one goal in our parks plan is to expand park space. But it's really difficult and this commission only has a limited reach, so I'm not discouraging you.
Shoot them out.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, so talk about what those ideas are and then you can figure out. What those are.
So one is very small and it's about the shoot park, the Redwood Reserve. It's becoming quite the destination for photo shoots.
Mhm.
And it's a little disorganized and it's kind of losing its purpose as a park if you go there on a Saturday or a Sunday. And so I'm not exactly sure how that gets into a goal, but maybe there could be a reservation system for just, it's like a problem if you want to use that space on a Saturday or on a Sunday and you're like avoiding the professional photos. So maybe something small that we could tackle. Another is based on my own background, I'd love to look at alternate surfacing options that are eco-friendly and not just crushed gravel. And I've already started to look at that, and that doesn't have to go on this work plan. I'm probably just gonna do it anyway. And then the third is, it seems like a lot of these things are about familiarity and getting people out to look at the arts and like participate in things and like, so what are we doing for the parks with that? Maybe we should, those are create
I'm sorry, what's that last thing?
familiarity, like a scavenger hunt of some sort, or, you know, get to know your park, play on each playground, something like that.
Okay. Anyone else on the, no, there's a lot of work.
Yeah, I can't do all of that, it's just
No,
three ideas, yeah.
But it's good information to think about. So I think to swing it back to what we were doing, which is, do we want to have a park go global? And if we do, based on some of the things that were thrown out. So in addition to that, I heard people talk about update park playgrounds, which we can flesh that out a little bit more so that that's understood too. New pathways, I think was mentioned, and new parks. So if we want to have a category about parks, so that's in addition to what Aaron mentioned, we could do that and then we can flesh out what we want to put in it. So a goal, I'm calling it categories, because that's how my brain works, but, yeah. Hardcore goal. Having the goal and then having our projects to go with it, that's gonna be, you know, the trick, and then being able to do them in the time limit. Yeah.
Teresa, can't that really combine the expansion and ongoing public art or and participation? It seems.
Sure, I mean, I think so, and that's up to, you know, I think they're really two very different things, though. When I think of the expansion, I think of it as, okay, we're gonna create new stuff that isn't part of our called art, which is very formal process and very fleshed out process, like the stipends that are done for artists, and we do that call for art. And that involves staff as well when we do those things, whereas when, for me, this is my thinking, when I'm thinking about expanding the art, I'm thinking of going beyond these pieces that are, you know, the standard stuff that, not standard, there's something standard about art, so that's not what I meant, but the traditional, you know, process that we have for art. So, but combining them is fine. I personally would hate to lose us looking at expanding them, but you're right. I mean, doing the call to art and without walls is expanding the art too. So, yeah.
Could it be that it's a promotion and expansion of public art goal?
Sure.
And
I think that's nice. And
all of those things go under that, and you take 3 of the 4 ongoing things and you put that under there.
Yeah.
I love that. And the way when I was kind of thinking about this, I was thinking about park. So I was thinking park, art, recreation, cultural. And then under each kind of section or category, we have the goal of promotion and expansion of art. So that's art. And then for park, because I think we need something for park, whatever that means, you know, ongoing park input or something. So we start with park, art, recreation, and then cultural, and then under cultural is the event programming. Right, community event, or cultural program, cultural programs. So there's a bit of At least the way, that's my mind thinks, so this kind of, this is where the park commission, so.
Yeah, I was doing categories when I
Yeah.
was sat down and worked on this. Oh,
Yeah.
you need to have like categories of
Yeah.
each one of these, so we touched them all.
So we touched them all,
Yeah.
That's actually,
you like that?
What would community outreach be?
I would say community outreach could be its own goal.
Yeah.
That's what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have, now you have 5 goals again,
Yeah,
which you have promotion and expansion of parks, promotion and expansion of, you get the point.
right,
Arts, you promotion, expansion, culture, and then you have community outreach.
right.
Really don't have to extend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Honestly, that's a number 1 goal, but.
Okay.
So
What
you
did
could
you say is number one goal for us now?
expand parks.
Yeah.
Parks. But once again, it doesn't mean that you're gonna go out there and just create parks.
Right, right,
The goals are actually, the goals would define that, but the project that you go into.
Right.
Something you could bite off this year is, do a survey of property or something that's
Exactly.
available for parking. And you could do that, you could say, in December, say, you know what, we came up with nothing. Or you could say,
Or
hey,
we
we
came up
found
with a
this.
whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. That won't be the case, but.
You never know.
Right.
No,
You never thought of it, though. I never-
I know it,
I
and,
never thought of it,
Yeah.
yeah, but in any case, yeah, that's great, and it's so simple, and it's so specific.
yeah,
I honestly think Council's.
I think it's good. Casey, did you grab that?
Yeah.
Okay, good, I figured, yeah, all right.
sorry,
Well,
because I
thank
mean,
you.
we're gonna have to.
It does mean we'll have to do some reorganization.
Reorganization.
That's what this is all about,
Yeah.
don't be sorry about it, that's why
Yeah,
I'm
that's
here, that's what this meeting was for, so. All right, so we have 5 categories, right?
Mhm.
And do we wanna review what we are calling? Again, so that we can start working on the objective?
We could start with the words promote and expand.
I
for
have
all the
promotion and
parks.
expansion of for each one.
Yeah.
Each of those 4 categories.
Okay,
Was the first one.
So we can start with
promotion and expansion.
of parks.
Okay.
And then once again, this could be wordsmith in January for your approval. But it's promotion expansion of parks, so there's your goal, what's the objective?
We probably need to say pretty general, because we get specific, we're gonna run into trouble with council.
Or something like that, you start probably with the term identify.
With what?
Identify.
Or support.
Identify
Yeah,
ways to support parks, identify ways to.
well, I was thinking more like
Advise
support
council?
staff in
Yeah.
your goals, I mean, in your park. Whatever you have in your goals, like maintenance, update, whatever word you guys use. Right? Cause we're not gonna be doing anything brand new.
No, you're just gonna be identifying, that's great to have another set of eyes. in there.
Yeah.
So, you know what? My recollection is Reseda Park has not been, the field hasn't been redone,
Mhm.
Saying it has.
So it could be something
Something
like, identify projects that can help with the utilization, I hate that word, the use and appreciation of Los Altos parks.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Nice,
That's pretty good, all, I'm sure.
yeah,
That would cover maintenance and upkeep and also getting community out, right, appreciation.
Yeah.
But Manny, I think you're saying that the commission can't do this, but I would really love if the commission can help identify areas of Los Altos that are not being served.
So once again, I go back to identify, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying,
identify.
use identify.
Yeah,
I know it's all about money.
Because
but-
it doesn't mean you're gonna do it, it means you're gonna identify how that can be done.
And
That's all I'm
then
saying.
to bring attention to that issue. To be a way to
That's
that
right.
new parks.
Once again, it's just an objective, it's not an actual project, you can break that down later.
Okay, so is it promotion and expansion of parks? And then that's the goal. And then identify projects that promote the utilization and appreciation of parks? Did I catch that? Okay.
Really good, I didn't even remember what I.
I just noted the time, I wasn't gonna go back. to it.
Yeah, we can always go back, and I was like, okay, okay,
Yeah, I'm not.
so that's the objective. and the goal, right? So we
Yeah,
have
we have to go, we have to.
goal and the objective.
So the objective is just to identify and not necessarily to prioritize or choose or do anything.
I think because we're just starting.
Just starting.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
the
wow.
right thing to do.
Next year, you can see if you did identify something, now we're gonna go.
Perfect.
Although, as we say that, I was thinking identified projects and promote it. So, yeah, that means we can't pull the trigger on something, say like that Erin had said, which was the, getting people out in parks, like maybe somebody said this.
Like a scavenger hunt or.
Scavenger hunt,
Scavenger.
and I know we've talked about doing like a passport thing in the past,
Yeah,
like having a
that'd be
little
great.
passport and people go and they get a stamp, they come back in or, something.
Once again, it.
Can we do that if we
It
just have the
depends.
word identify? Yeah.
Depends, I mean, passport program would probably be cheap.
Would you like me to read?
Oh, yeah.
If you're gonna identify redoing the whole pathway to
So, no,
South
no.
Park, that's not something.
But if we don't
Again,
use the word identify, we can't then do,
Are we limited or can we?
We can use the
accomplish
outside.
other-
Once again, you can accomplish other things that are related to that, as long as it's accomplished. Once again, you've got budget
Oh, yeah.
and you've got staff, are all 6 of you gonna show up to this event that you created?
right,
That's a question,
So
so
if our sheet says identify and we accomplish the passport program, we're not gonna
you're
end up
not
in
stepping on.
commissioner jail. Okay.
yeah, that's the whole thing, it's, you don't want to overdo, get somebody go, that wasn't.
The only boundary is gonna be support and fund, that's it.
But if we do it as commission.
Once again, they'll support and fund.
We're allowed to be overachievers, I think.
Yes.
I-
Especially as long as it doesn't cost a bunch of money, I'm hearing you,
Just, yeah,
budget,
just hang in
budget,
there.
yeah,
I
okay.
know you're hoping to get all this done, but you've got a lot of other.
Yeah,
things.
oh,
Just continue.
absolutely, absolutely, okay, goal number 2. Is
Promotion and expansion of public art.
Uh-huh. So right now, your previous objective in relation to that is to utilize resources to expand public art programs and displays. It sounds pretty good. Maybe you could add something that's identifies ongoing,
So if you combine these two, combine the bottom one.
regular support to utilize resources to expand and maintain public art programs and displays. I don't know, so.
I mean, you're already saying expansion,
Yeah, you could just use, it include like and support or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone wanted to.
So could it be utilize resources to complete regular support programs and expand public art programs?
You don't have to have it perfect today.
Yeah.
Sounds really
Yeah,
good.
that already,
Yeah.
yes. What did I do?
to expand.
I'm marking who said what when.
Oh,
so I can
okay.
Go back and find.
Oh, okay.
Go back and find the
Okay.
exact.
So do you think utilize resources ends up kind of being a method and not necessarily the objective, right? Like, we just end up utilizing resources while we're trying to support these programs.
I think those words were meant to speak specifically to Arts Los Altos.
yeah,
Okay, so, okay, so
Yeah.
then utilizing both of them.
creating the.
Yeah, like, maybe leveraging might be the better word than. But.
You don't have to finish it.
But that's a good start.
Will you be, sending this out so that we can
Yes.
actually edit it, send you more comments?
In
Or do
plenty-
you not do it that way?
No, we won't do it. We have to do it in public setting.
Public-
Yeah, you can't all throw it together. That's the health and spoke violation of
Oh, so
the
you
Brown.
do it in-
So we'll send it.
We'll send it, you can take all your notes, and then the next meeting in January.
Oh, that's how you can give it.
Yeah, we wanna hopefully get it somewhere close.
Yeah,
We're
Yeah, we're,
After today, we'll just do it.
I mean, these are pretty thorough so far. Okay, all right, 3, the goal.
Promotion and expansion of, we have it as
Recreation program.
recreation programs. The recreation program.
Define some recreation program. I see pickleball over here, but then that doesn't necessarily, I don't think we've been talking about recreation as much.
So I think it was like, as it stands right now, like the summer concert, the family fun day, the movie night.
Okay.
But you're right, like why, it's
It's all
arbitrary.
Yeah, half of our programs, you're not gonna be involved in the contract process.
Okay.
That's half of our stuff. So most of them is in-house stuff that we do or lands up being events or ongoing events and stuff like that.
Oh.
So that's why, you know, so you can get involved in more of those. I think we do have additional programming that you can get involved in, or you can not be involved in some of those.
You need our help with pickleball this year?
No, pickleball players, they're pretty good right now. They can manage their own
Okay.
games and stuff.
Okay.
However, in the future, depending on how pickleball's structured, once we get a permanent site, because we're planning on that in the capital projects, then who knows? This commission could assist with tournaments. They could plan tournaments and stuff. But like I said, pickleball, there's a lot of people around. So I think we have a pickleball player here. right now.
Yeah,
So anyhow, but stuff like that, there are more programs and stuff that this commission could get involved with, other than what you see, but for the most part, it's that.
So what's the wording we use for the objective? For,
promotion and expansion of rec programming.
yeah,
That's a good question. I don't have it. Whatever that is.
we don't have something that's.
So family fun day, spring egg hunt, movie night, these are not rec programming. That's not what that is. Those are,
Those are. good
Those
those
are,
are-
those are,
okay, okay.
yeah,
They've just been called community events on the previous tool,
Right.
and now we're calling it rec programming. Okay.
programs.
so. But will we really be working on I guess we will be.
Good, if you come up
But
with
the
ideas.
promotion, will we be promoting them? As a
Good.
commission?
Good, think about the farmer's
We
market.
could.
Farmer's market, you can promote those
Okay.
Halloween movies, yeah.
Right, farmer's market, yeah.
Teresa, you're saying eliminate the community event, don't say that, you do recreation.
Right.
I didn't, I
No,
don't,
I
I
thought
thought
that
with
was
pro
promotion.
stance.
Yeah.
So-
it
so-
should be good.
No, I think we were saying that because it covers your commission name, basically.
Yeah,
It's parks, arts, recreation, so use recreation again.
And maybe in the objective, we say, like, we're focusing on community
on
events.
community events.
And once again, wordsmithing could come into
Yeah.
play, because your goal come January, when you look at this again, you know, promote and,
Expansion on.
promote expansion of recreation and community events. Something like that. That's
Yeah.
not hard to do, so.
Good, yeah, community event has to say that
It's,
someplace.
yeah, if that's what you decide.
This category seems pretty flushed out. I feel like we're.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we just leave it right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when we talk about projects, once again, this could come into play where if you have ideas for recreation programs, such as maybe it's not a cultural event, but the concert I was mentioning.
Mhm.
Come up with that. So those are recreation programs. There we go.
The concert would be a recreation fund.
If you're just having a winter concert series, every Sunday between November and February, you have a pianist come in or a harpist come in or something like that.
Wouldn't that fall under cultural?
It could, depending on
Okay,
what you want
what
to
you,
do.
what
Yeah,
approach, okay.
you just bring in musicians.
So this still feels vague to me, like really wide and not
Yeah.
specific. And I guess maybe we have a theme here of promotion under each one of them, which I'm still a little uncomfortable about the promotion part, but I do know we can promote at the table.
Towards support.
I don't know.
So maybe
Yeah.
Yeah.
Promote can be like more of like a philosophical, like we've got this at the front of our mind, it's got our attention and we're
Right.
thinking, and then it could be like Instagram posts.
Right,
So,
and we would never do those
okay,
with staff. Wasn't.
So for me, exactly, I think promote, the reason I put that in there is because your participation in, let's just say, our family fun series, that's a promotion for it, is you're promoting this event really just by being there helping us.
Right, yeah,
So
no, I understand, okay.
We can say hype up.
Love to understand about social media.
Yeah.
So you have that, and then you have, what's that?
The final one is the cultural,
Cultural.
Okay,
promotion and expansion of cultural programming.
Cultural program events, or whatever. But we won't talk about. Objective? I think it would. I'm saying, literally, I'm just saying, I think it would mirror what you just did with recreation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, I do like that it's specific, like partner with cultural groups and participate in events as a commission. I mean, maybe the second part
That's
isn't as important, but the partnership seems to be really key to that goal, so
So keep it,
yeah,
objective.
I'm interested in what other people think.
Yeah, well, especially if it sounds like bringing a new event,
Yeah,
heavily relies on a partnership with an organization, then I think we absolutely need to keep that in. Right, as a guide, it's how to get that.
So, keep what we have under the
Okay.
objective for that one.
Mhm.
Okay, all right, sounds good. And then as far as, do we want to do the increased cultural programming, that wording? Or were you wanting to do different wording
We'll
for
keep the
cultural?
same wording for now,
I
Yeah.
mean, it's fine, I just
Just
want to make
promoting
sure.
it, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
and
okay,
then you can change those things again.
okay. sounds
Increase
good.
community outreach, then I don't know what you want to do with that objective too, is objective with okay, or?
Yeah.
That one. Oh,
The one we were talking
Very
about.
right,
I mean, we could flip it to outreach to the community, then we don't have to increase it unless we should increase it.
Well, not just saying community outreach.
And it's a goal.
community outreach is a goal, I feel like we could just do that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's- Yeah, I mean, because otherwise it would look better, so we maintain.
Yeah.
I mean,
So is that objective sound good though?
yeah,
What, wait, the same objective,
Same objective,
yeah.
the goal.
Oh, the goals.
Okay. For which one?
community
Yeah.
outreach.
Identify ways to gather public feedback outside of regular commission meetings that will help support commissioners.
Yeah.
Only part with it that will help support commission recommendations. I don't know if that has.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree, and that,
I'm not sure it has to be that, I know why it's there, but I think it can just be that will even just help support. No, it doesn't even have to support the commission.
yeah, I think it's not,
It just took, take it
I
out.
think that closes it off actually, if we learn something from the feedback. I think we should be open to learning.
That's it.
Yeah.
It ends right after meeting.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's right, something.
could I make a suggestion
Sure,
too?
or support city. Yeah, it shouldn't just, instead of, commission recommendations. Support this, something with city's, goals, or Los Altos goals.
Projects would be the word that came into my mind on that one, but I
Yeah,
feel like that limits, that locks us into something.
Better just to leave it off.
Yeah,
I
just leave
think
it
we got
as is with a period after we meet.
Yeah,
So identify ways to gather public feedback outside of regular commission meetings.
perfect.
Otherwise, it sounds like we're just sort of getting to them, so like.
Exactly.
Again, it's to identify, do we need to identify and
No,
implement?
you've got good ways, just gather public.
Just, yeah,
feedback.
I would suggest
Okay,
getting rid
great,
of it.
okay, great, all right,
Could I make a suggestion that would probably help staff, and actually help the public, I feel, is include within commission meetings and outside of commission meetings? Because some members of the public feel that the only way a public process is done is outside of this meeting. What people don't understand is this is part of the public process, so when they're gonna say, for example, when the downtown park comes to this commission, they're gonna say, well, what did this commission do outside of this, because that's one of your goals. To create a public process, this is the public process, so just a suggestion, think about it, you don't have to put it in now, I think it would help the public.
right, it's to gather public feedback outside of, what if we just say, identify ways to gather public feedback?
Or
With,
just,
and it could be within and without.
Yeah,
in your
outside and within the
Sure,
commission meeting.
okay.
but maybe no more identify ways.
No, identify is fine, yeah.
Identify ways.
Gather public feedback
Just gather.
within and outside of the commission meeting,
Mhm.
we start with that. Oh, here's the hard part.
All right, so are there, did anybody have any other goal they felt that we needed to do? Are we all set on goals and objectives? We're good?
Mhm.
Okay, all right, great. So it's about data, just want to make sure it's okay. All right, so, projects. For each of these.
We'll be here until 2 o'clock.
No, we,
No.
no, I mean, that was
Let me-
pretty fast, let me tell you.
Could I help a little?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get a few of these off. I highlighted some ongoing things that I believe this commission needs to do, and one of those is table at the farmer's market for public input. We usually utilize that as a commission for some goal, okay, whatever that topic is. So we'll keep that under community outreach. Then under the art, explore, create partnerships, doesn't have to be with Arts Los Altos. I'm just saying, explore partnerships with, for programming and displays. That's what I would suggest be put
Yeah.
down, but I believe that needs to stay based on what the commission talked to the council last year on. Yes. that
So
would
that's
be-
number
it's-
2, goal
That's
2,
the number, yeah, that's the, yeah, two.
okay.
The other one, there's two more I have, is, table at the summer concert. So once again, utilizing that much like the farmer's market for whatever subject comes up, or just to, even to recruit, you've got one open seat at this point. Maybe at that point during the summer, you're still looking for someone. So I suggest that that stays under, the, recreation community events. And then the last one that I think should definitely stay is select the theme and, hang a selected art in the community center gallery twice per year, because we need you for that. All right, and the only thing I will say, I think everything else is on the board to get rid of, or, you know, to add other things. But I will say, just to give you a quick history of the Halloween movie night, that was an event that was created by this commission, well, not this commission in particular, but the Parks and Recreation Commission years ago. Commissioners included Jonathan Weinberg, Nisa
It was Nisa,
Flagler,
I think.
yeah, Nisa Flagler, Jonathan Weinberg, yeah, so they were on that commission that started it. I used no staff for that. That was one of the things that they decided to take a big bite out of it, see if they could do it. I gave them the resources. They were out there physically putting up the screen, talking to the public and doing everything. Did a great job. That has evolved where the commission has kind of just been a part of it in the past, but their name was at the top of the flyer that said Parks and Recreation Commission and the Parks and Recreation Department are doing this. So I just wanted to give you that history. Doesn't have to go back to that way, but that's how it started. So that could be your signature event, and you could extend it to spring too. I don't know, but anyhow.
I would love to with the, I have 3 and folks.
Well, and I would say, based on the last, Halloween, the last couple, last few, movie nights, I was thinking this last one, I thought, we're not doing this, and we need to be doing it. If we can get a team together to actually be more forward in the process, that would be good. I mean, we need staff, we have to have staff, but we don't need to have as many staff if
My
we're
staff,
staffs
yeah,
up.
my staff could do it, that's fine, that's
They
why,
do great
that's why I
job.
didn't say it's something that you should have on this, I didn't put it as the 4 that I wanted to keep. But I would suggest that that would be a good one.
Yeah.
Easy to do.
It's fun too, it's easy, it's fun, you know.
So if you agree with that, we can add
It's
that
like
to the
grandpa.
recreation and programming.
Yeah.
I think it's good. So you would put it under the recreation.
Recreation community. That's it, everybody else?
I think the, call for art without walls program, that needs to be added in.
We'll put that,
If,
we'll put that under,
yeah, thank you.
got it.
And then, so you, Manny, you mentioned that staff is gonna start doing the update on the brochures as needed.
Yeah,
Art brochures, is that
well,
something?
no, oh, you mean the
Former,
updates?
Chair Corrigan's gonna
Yeah.
give you the info for that,
I
but
hope
you
so.
did have a program
That's what
and
we
do it.
mentioned, that we need to know
What
what
she
she's done
used.
before
Yes.
previously.
She'll share that. with
And
you.
it's so recently updated.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is, but I know there's already a
And that
couple
would be a
more
charge of a
updates.
commissioner to take that on.
Oh,
I can
sure.
do it, it's
Yeah.
not, if it's.
Once we know the program,
And
yeah,
it's
I
not
don't
a
know,
big deal.
yeah, I don't know if it's.
You mean to do the updates?
Yeah,
That would be, oh yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
raising my hand.
yeah, I mean, that could be word perfect, but we can't, I don't.
If you
We'll
get
still
all
find
that.
out. Somewhere in
Okay.
between, I think.
Okay. So I have 2 more for art that I think need to be under the art one. One more, sorry. 2 more. One is plaques I'd like to suggest that, we take that on of finding a vendor to get the plaques done so that all of the artwork has plaques on it, because that's part of the agreement we make with the artists, that we're actually gonna have the names.
From Shopton doesn't.
We don't have time for.
They're not done, so I'm asking if we could add that to the thing and get the plaques done.
I would suggest, and I think I brought this up a little bit earlier in this meeting, is, some kind of maintenance.
Yes, and
Uh,
plaques and
updates.
maintenance, that's fine.
And that's what I would say,
Okay.
part of the
Great.
maintenance is getting those plaques done.
Okay, great, let's,
That's measurable, that's great.
Yeah, totally. Get that done. There was a problem with the transfer from arts, public arts to Parks and Rec and Public Arts Commission.
That's-
we're,
So it kind of was, yeah, it was in limbo at the time, so.
Look, we know it
lost the
needs to be
vendor too,
we lost them.
we lost the vendor.
Yeah, I know,
So
and
we have
that's
to
why I
find
put that
new
in
one.
there, so we can find and join. But you guys have plenty to do, so commissioners can take that off, I think, if everybody agrees that we can add that in.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, great,
That's
why
fine.
not take that off? All right,
I loved the idea of having the joint brochure between Art Los Altos and the private art and the public art. That it was all on the same brochure. I don't think that will get done in a year, because I know how hard these things are, but to have it as like an ongoing goal.
we can, yeah, explore it. Is that what you said? Just
Very, very
explore the idea, find out, and put it on the work plan, see what the council thinks of that idea. And then look at how we might be able to do it so that it still has that, ability to see that there are different art pieces, because there's controversy, right, with art. And so being able to say where they direct the, comment is helpful.
There might be something like an app that already lists art that we could utilize and.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it could be a modern solution.
George,
Okay, so add on, if people agree, if the commissioners agree, so we would do, explore
George.
a joint brochure. Okay,
Maybe not brochure, a joint listing or index of the guide. Yeah, so that we can do an app or whatever, it doesn't have to be a brochure.
Mm.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
okay. Got it. Okay. And. Okay, any more for art?
We talked about a walking tour, but I don't know geographically where I know actually where a lot of Arts Los Altos is, and that's an easy walking tour, which they do once a month.
They do that.
But do we have, is geographically this is feasible to do something like that for the art that's under this umbrella?
Or could it go under increased community outreach? Because that's a way to bring people together and get their opinions and stuff.
But is that something that's doable?
Yeah.
No.
If our commission thinks it's doable, it's
But I mean
doable.
geographically, is it all walkable? I
It
think
would probably.
Not all the art
bikeable.
that we list.
It's bikeable.
It's like.
So it could even be a collaboration with Greentown and the biking.
Greentown. So maybe it's a biking tour. I don't know.
There's a lot of art. You could do like multiple tours. right?
Yeah,
Some of them could be
breaking up the
walkable.
sections of the city,
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe it's a car too. Oh, or maybe a self-guided tour that walking tour that people do.
That's
Too.
something commissioners do.
Yeah, and that would,
Because it's an
I like the idea. We've talked about doing a bike tour for ages of the artwork, so
Well,
however we want to
That's
do
a
it.
way to promote, like if, right, if people don't know where it is and we're not putting it on their radar,
Yeah.
no one's looking at it, right? So we're making plaques, but no one's looking at it, so I think that's a must, sorry, we're really dropping people to pieces.
Mhm.
So it could be bike and or car.
So there's bike, walk, self-guided, right? Because we're not gonna do a car tour with a whole bunch of people in one. So it would be
It's like
self-guided.
a good opportunity to look for a partnership.
That's what I was saying,
Yeah.
collab with, Greentown.
Okay.
What's that? Greentown?
It's like the green team environmental. Of our town, environmental team of our town.
Yeah.
It's an organization, a private organization that has, keep the ecology of the world in our town at the front of their brain and what they're always promoting. So they help with things like not having cemented over swales. They do a bike tour already. of the city. I think they've done maybe a chicken coop tour. I'm not sure if that was them or somebody else, but so there's some things.
It could also be like a Boy Scout Eagle project,
Could
it could be a Rotary Club high school where they volunteer and that's their community service, if they give those tours. There's a lot of different ways. that
Yep.
so.
Could be cool to do a garden for different houses, I don't know where that would go. What it was. Or how we would do that.
It would. How would it work for park, art, recreation and cultural?
Well, where would it, maybe it goes in the parks.
Could be a park garden too. Yeah, that would go.
Or I
Oh,
was
you
thinking
mean
private,
private residence.
I was thinking private residents to go into some of these private homes.
I know someone that might
I think they
want
do
to
both.
work on that, but I also think that maybe that's one of those extra things that we don't go to commissioner jail for doing, but maybe
Yeah.
doesn't make it onto the,
Yeah.
as like a debt, like we're promising we're gonna.
I
do
do
that.
think Greentown has done.
I
what
think
you're
they do
saying.
that. I think somebody does it, whether it's Greentown or
There's a
somebody does
garden
garden.
club too, there's a lot of garden clubs.
Yeah.
That
We
might-
do have a garden.
Yeah,
A garden
a
club.
garden
Yeah,
club.
there's garden.
And then there's an interest, the person I was thinking was particularly interested in green, like, go friendly gardens.
Native
Native
gardens.
plants, yeah.
Yeah. So where would that go if we did it? In parks?
So just go with the program. Could go in
Programming?
parks. Yeah, could go in parks.
It could,
Depends on what you're doing.
yeah, or
Yeah, I could advise that.
community events, I
Include-
suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say. Just place it if that's something that this commission wants to do as well.
Community outreach.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's program.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
So is that something that you want
Yeah, you're
to
gonna do that?
organize?
You would have to spearhead.
Mhm.
Yeah, cause
Oh,
I'm,
you're asking me to do this right now?
yeah,
We're just saying,
this is a big one, because
It's
you gotta,
big, it's
like,
huge.
you gotta get everybody to be home on a certain day and have their
We're
garden.
gonna have
set up.
gardens.
I have a partner. So let's, do we have to make a decision tonight?
well, this is our work plan, so we do, yeah, we're fleshing it out, so, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
What you can do is not, here's a suggestion, don't put it on the work plan, keep it in your head, and when the
Yeah.
final goes back to you. And you come January, you can say, you know what, we can do this.
I have to know more when I get.
Exactly,
Yeah,
that'll
exactly.
give you
Yeah.
several weeks to figure out how you wanna do it. Cause we don't need it in December, so you've got several weeks. to
Does the,
figure it out.
do you all like that idea?
I like it, but I don't wanna do any work for it. I support it.
And in
Yeah.
all honesty, I may have to advise you on that too, because I'll have to go to the city attorney. Even for the bike
Is
tour.
there a
and park.
simple way to do it without going private then? You were talking about like.
The park, like going to the park and seeing the different flowers.
There's no fun.
Yeah, but it's
not.
there. Well, they don't have much in front of the library.
We've got a wait on a program like that too, because we're telling people to go into.
Let's
private
put it in the
gardens,
document.
so.
Okay,
That would-
okay.
suggest that.
but I would love to see the city do some. Maybe.
And maybe it's worth looking up to see if Greentown does it.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up what organization, because we are thinking of something, right? Like, it exists.
It does, I know that we've done it, and I don't know if it's within our town, it's a group, or if it's the greater group, cause I know people have had their houses. So that's the thing, I just don't know who, there's the Santa Clara group too, so I don't know who it's coming from. So. Okay, where are we? So we're at, is anything else for, the art? I don't know that we finished that one. Was there more that anybody wanted to put in there?
It's good.
No,
It's
I
all
think we're
packed
good.
up.
It's back, okay,
Yeah.
then, so we've shifted, right? And we were talking about
The program.
the program recreation, yeah.
Is there any other programs that this commission's interested in, other than the ones that I've already suggested?
So,
Musical one.
so add in the music, the concert kind of idea.
Seasonal concert.
I'm so afraid of overcommitting myself, and like I can't find people.
Scratch it off in January.
Okay, oh, yeah, that
I would
might be out,
suggest that.
yeah,
I would suggest that because that seems like an easier one, we don't have to go out to private people.
Yeah.
yeah,
We would just have to look internally here, I can give you suggestions based on program and other agencies.
and then we need to find space and
Mhm.
share some, but you sound like positive about this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I would do that, so, yeah,
A
I would love to
question.
do that.
Yes.
About that, if we did that, would we have a budget to work with to pay the
We'll think of that.
artist? Okay, and then.
Because remember, something like that, just not say we're planning this event right now, but I would suggest. People like to be indoors for this concert, we used to do a winter concert series, so that
Yeah.
means that you would start this event probably in November, depending on the schedule. And if you did that in November, that is next fiscal year, so in 3 months, this could be something that I put on this Parks and Rec budget. That this commission organizes, but I will fund through my regular programming budget. So,
I'd love to go to that.
Okay, and then that way we don't step on any toes in garden concert, that was my other
exactly,
question.
and that's
So
the other
we
reason we want winter.
do something in the winter as opposed to.
Summer, you do
When we have
outdoor,
summer concert,
and
yeah,
then the winter
wanna make
ones,
sure we don't
that's fine.
get that fancy, okay. All right. And I can definitely help with musicians, I'm sure, so. Okay. And so we, under the rec programming, we have the traditional ones, and then we have to talk about the Halloween movie more, but. But,
That
you
one
know,
probably
as we
should
move
carry
along,
over.
that's what we
Mhm.
wanna do with it,
Yeah.
okay, all right, great. And then,
Cultural program.
cultural programming, yeah,
I do suggest that, this commission stays involved like with the other 3 events that I mentioned already. We can carry those into that category, and then open it up to if there's any other ideas. Maybe
So-
let's try to bite off something else.
I have a question. Are we locked into these three?
Yeah.
No, it's just this, all that is the commission's commitment to try to get involved with that, or at least ask them what involvement they might desire.
Instead of mentioning them specifically, could we level up to the same goal that we have for, the partnerships for the arts and say explore partnerships with the community to help facilitate events or something like that? Or do you want to list?
That one, okay, so 2 things, one is that, I think is a great idea, because now you can look at. Dia de los
There it is.
Muertos, or Jewish events, or Holy Festival, I mean, any of those things. So that does limit you to these 3 events, however, council is interested in these 3 events. I'll tell you right now, Parks and Recreation Department, we got them locked up, we're covered, this commission doesn't have to be involved in it. I do suggest that.
Yeah.
That the
Yeah.
council's wish that this commission is involved, but my department will take care of it, so.
maybe we can make it one piece of it though, so continue to
With current. funds.
support, you know, the Los Altos Lunar New Year, the.
So one
Mall,
line in the
Guitar,
main
and the
one,
band,
Salem?
one,
That's fine.
so
And
that we
then-
have that.
But then we have something where we explore
Yes,
opportunities or explore events with other cultural groups.
Yes,
You know.
yeah,
To be able to be opened up.
explore for at least the
Like-
indication of
Yeah,
Yeah.
a cultural event that makes small concept.
yeah.
Okay, that's a great idea.
I got a big one for this category, because it's come up a bunch of times, and because I think it's a good idea, but we'll see what everybody thinks, a multicultural fair.
Yeah,
So
I
we-
like that too.
That's something we were talking about last.
Yeah, and then the email we got was from her, I think.
So, you know, I've been involved in the organization of those at schools, and they can get a little feisty, just
Mhm.
FYI.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think when I came up with it originally, and then, Ms. Phillips took it and ran with it, was, I had originally thought of a dance concert. So that we would have a variety of dancers from around the globe.
Yeah, I think having it focused on something is a great idea.
So I know though that we have support from at least 2 city council. I went back and listened to the September. What was it, September? Meeting last year where there was support for it, and I listened to the comments of it. So if we put it on there, I think we work within their guidelines of what their comments were. And then explore it a little bit more and understand this is exploring it, it's not getting done this year, because
Yeah,
it's huge.
please
And
understand.
we've talked about it,
Yes.
it's probably a good
That's a big.
couple years, it's huge. So
Yeah.
even if it's just the dance and we don't add all the other stuff, and one of the things that one of the council members did say in the meeting that I listened to, again, was that he wanted to make sure it was, council member, wanted to make sure we weren't like any of the other multicultural fairs around here, and I agree 100%, why be the same, let's be different. Yeah, so, so let's, if it's okay, add something like that on.
I love that. I wanted to do something multicultural.
I think I mentioned that last time when this was brought up, that Santa Rita Elementary also does an international day that is all about dance and food, so that could be like an interesting stepping stone to that event.
So we would explore just the, so we understand, like explore and call out a multicultural event.
See if it's possible,
Okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
let's see if
I
it's
just wanna make sure.
possible and
Yeah,
how we
good
might,
point.
yeah,
Yes.
start working on it.
Alright, who's gonna work on
Well, we didn't get there,
Yeah,
but
I thought we were gonna sign that.
I
it? I
Yeah,
just wanna make
yeah,
sure
that's
that-
fine.
yeah, I just wanna make sure you have somebody that's willing to do it.
Yeah, we've got two, so I
love
think,
to.
so when we get to that part,
Yeah.
when we need names, we've got names, okay, you wanna make sure those.
And I would like-
I just wanna make sure that, yeah.
I can work behind the scenes before January, I'm thinking about the Jewish cultural events to see if we can partner up with them, things, so I can do
Okay.
that.
Alright,
Alright.
alright, so that one's on, anybody else for cultural? Okay, so we have, under
Arts.
cultural, we have the potential, they're looking into, the multicultural, and then. No, you put that underneath. Right,
I
programming.
think it should be cultural, I believe, because I'd like to bring in different cultures, music.
Okay, we'll put it in.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's, auto rec programming it down into. I think so.
For many reasons.
Okay, got it, alright, so the
Parks.
community outreach,
No parks.
parks,
Okay,
sorry,
so-
I've got them in the wrong order, okay, parks. I can read back what comments that were made about it, if you want. Sure, anybody? Okay, so, I think most of them came from Erin at this point, update park playgrounds, pathway, oh no, that's the survey. Pathways, a new park, Shout Park, maybe have a, how can we maybe manage the photo shoots, whether reservation system or something, for being able to utilize that for everybody in a different way. Eco-friendly ground,
Yeah,
okay,
So like the playground.
right, and then how to get people out in parks.
Well, I'll volunteer for that category, so. Hopefully somebody else wants to join me.
Yeah, I'll love you, with the how to get people out or the whole shebang, the whole parks category.
I don't know yet.
I think we're jumping ahead.
Yeah, could I?
Let's get our,
Yeah, so
Projects.
let's make the project, so
Yeah.
I would suggest that there is some kind, that this commission takes on some kind of evaluation of possible upgrades, I don't know how you wanna say it, upgrades or, yeah, benefits or something that could enhance the current parks that we have.
Enhancements.
That's one category. So I
Mhm.
think if we're looking
I agree.
if you could at least do that and maybe even in the next few months, come up with some kind of listing to evaluate this for us. You go to Shelf and say, oh, you know, what would be better here if we had a
Yeah.
water feature, you know, what would be better here if we
Yeah.
had this, and then just go to each park and do that. But that, let me.
analyze,
Yeah, something like that.
Evaluate.
Evaluate, analyze, you know, the improvements or upgrades to our park system to enhance them, something like that. But I will warn you that previous commissions have tried this. It's a huge undertaking. It's more than just the 11 parks that you're gonna have to visit. Because you're looking at a lot of details that, you know, may or may not amount to the idea that you're trying to come up with.
so
I don't love this.
sorry, we have hands over here.
I
Go
have a
ahead.
question. I think what helps us to know, it sounds like some of this stuff is already in the works on some level, on your.
Yeah, and that's what I think we'd have to be doing.
Like
Some
upgrading, I
stuff.
heard that there was like, talk about, you guys are already talking about upgrading the playground, right? So I think it would be helpful for us to know what's already,
That would be the first step.
We'd have to work in
You
conjunction.
have to
yeah, so
work-
we're not like bringing you this brilliant idea and you're like, oh, we're actually been working on it for the last
No.
year.
But I think it's helpful for staff, I'm gonna put it this way, it's helpful for staff Because going into a park upgrade, because right now, the things that I can tell you are in the next couple of years, no one here has probably seen the 5-year draft that I have of upgrades to all the parks, utilizing parking and move, funding. But with that, what I can tell you right now is, and it's in the budget for upgrades on the pathways. That's just basically repairs, new pathways in our parks and upgrades in certain playgrounds. And we budget these out for bandwidth as well as financial reasons. So with that, those are gonna happen this year to a couple of parks.
Oh, okay.
Going forward, I will be able to share that plan with whoever is gonna do this project and say, okay, we're gonna do these parks coming up. But I would like, what would be helpful for staff is some kind of opinion on, you know what this commission thinks that, you know, you might wanna do a water feature when you might wanna add outdoor fitness at this park, or whatever that you wanna add what is it, a
So,
garden or something.
Collaboration with the commission.
Yeah, with the staff,
Collaborating.
suggest some kind of advisory to
Yeah.
staff that says, hey, you know what, we examined these parks, and we know that those are the next 2 parks you're gonna work on. And these are the suggestions on how should that. We could budget for those things, we can plan those upgrades, because right now, I just know the basic maintenance aspects of it. Outside of the playgrounds we did a lot of opinions on, but with that, what, I'm just gonna redo the field and have, replace the pathway as is. Is there a different way to do the pathway? Is there something that you wanna do on the pathway, in addition to playground? So it's just a long-winded way, suggestions for us would be helpful.
Yeah.
But you need to go in and evaluate the parks. My staff, they maintain it. They don't say, occasionally they do, they're like, hey, man, you know what? I was doing this and I think if we did this here, it'd be better. So I get it occasionally, but it'd be nice to hear.
As a goal, as a project, survey.
So, but you'd have to go to, well, we wouldn't go to each park, because you'd have to tell us which parks to go to, but.
It depends on how you wanna tackle that. I could tell you which parks to go to, you can go to all of them.
But not a survey, like an online survey, but the.
No, a survey of this group surveying.
Commissioner
Yes.
survey.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the word evaluate keeps you out of trouble.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
evaluate, yeah, yeah, I mean, you can wordsmith
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
but survey could get you in trouble.
I hear you really, yeah,
Yeah.
that word means a lot of different things,
Evaluate and then collaborate with staff
to make some
to
recommendations.
make recommendations on improvements or.
For future upgrades.
This feels
Yeah.
gigantic.
It's huge, that's why I wanted,
So-
it can be huge.
Would it be better if it was narrowed down to a couple parks, this?
Why don't
Work
we leave it
plan?
like this on the work plan, and then we could do that with the first meeting that staff would have with whoever's doing this.
Yeah.
Cause then I can tell you, okay, we're gonna do playgrounds and pathways at Marymead and Montclair next year, which you don't know that. I'm gonna share that, is that something you wanna just examine, bite that off?
I think
Give us the
we need to
info.
put something with, in collaboration,
Right,
Yeah.
yeah,
city staff.
evaluate
Yeah.
and collaborate with staff regarding improvements to our park system.
Yeah,
Is that good?
I mean, you're not
Or
gonna.
our
know all the
parks, you wanna
parks.
say our park?
I just have
Just the parks.
regarding park upgrades.
Well,
enhancements.
Do you
Okay,
have green
good.
spaces, or
Got
is it just all parks? Do you have any,
Parks,
do you have pocket green spaces?
parks and open spaces,
There's
you
no
may,
park.
well, this is where it could snowball, is you may have input on shoulders, on the roads and stuff, because my parks crew maintains that as well. Do
Okay,
you wanna put flowers in, do you wanna put oleanders, I mean, so there's the, that's why I'm saying, I warned what this is. Let me meet with the group, whoever volunteers for this first, and we can narrow it down and get something we can do in 12 months.
so I'm so interested in getting involved in that.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we're asking for names, you're gonna just jump in on that one. Okay, what else?
I have a question, do we have to get to names today as well?
No, actually, not
I
necessarily,
have to leave. them.
I understand.
I think it makes more sense to do that after they've been wordsmithed and you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Throw that out there, you said, I want that.
Names, let's keep going.
Okay. Anything
And then
else on
we'll
parks?
be doing dates when we come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I will
We'll go
advise you
through
on dates, but I'll
Okay.
tell you how long it's gonna take.
Okay,
Anything else on parks?
go ahead, and,
Well,
yeah, I do. on parks. Go ahead.
I don't know if this belongs in parks or in community outreach, but we need to survey the residents and the owners about the lack of green spaces in certain areas, especially along the El Camino corridor with all the developments, the condos and apartments. I mean, there's nothing down there, so I
I would
don't.
work on that with you too.
Hmm?
I would work on that with you too, if that was
Okay.
something that you were.
But
So doesn't that go to
I don't
the
know.
idea of looking for more public park space?
yeah, and green, yeah, green space.
And that's under
But it's.
promotion and expansion of parks, new parks.
But project, we're looking at project.
What you might need before you ask for it is evidence that it's unequal. So, or that,
Well,
yeah,
new parks.
okay.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
It doesn't have to be a park, just be, you know, green space with a garden, you know, with some benches. It could, doesn't have to be a playground.
Right.
Park or,
and there's a lot to that, cause we have some places like that, man. We've done it, so it wouldn't be ideal for two brand new people to work on it without
Okay.
having more
I
information.
step back then.
No, so it means that
Well, we could,
we might have to like bring something to a meeting. Or meet somehow, but we can't meet in three.
Or maybe this can't be done in 2 months, decided on
yeah.
and put on this board plan. You have 4-year
Right.
terms, okay? So, and this isn't gonna be done in 1 year anyway, and I hate to put it off another 12 months, but maybe it's something that should be thought of, how we're gonna accomplish this.
Well,
Discuss it.
there are professionals that do this, and maybe it becomes we talk and we figure out what a budget might be and what a plan, and like give you some vendor recommendations.
We can do that, or just, what I would recommend is maybe at some point, put it on an agenda and say, hey, let's make a motion to recommend, remember, you are an advisory commission to council.
Uh-huh.
Recommend to council that they have staff invest time and effort into exploring
That's
this.
probably the best.
That is just real quick to throw it at council and say, hey, are you interested in this? Because council may not be into this. So,
No, no,
does that sound okay?
yeah, sure. I mean, I've kind of worked with council already with kind of banging my head against this. It's
So,
a tough topic, because there's not, you know, it's money and.
But you're gonna land up in the same place either way, because if you put it at council just under a recommendation, or if you put it on this, they're gonna look at it and say, what does this mean? And you're saying, we're gonna do all this research and then we're gonna throw it at you anyway.
so we have our goal is the promotion and expansion of parks. So even if we didn't have that as a project specifically, new parks, we could still potentially have that as an agenda item. Bring it in, and then we can discuss it, and then we can educate on some of the things we know
Mhm.
about this topic.
Doesn't have to-
And then we can go from there, cause
Yeah.
it definitely falls under promotion and expansion. So maybe that's the
The
thing.
council,
future agenda.
remember
Oh,
our,
that particular.
remember our experience with that painting of front of the king.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, of the council chamber.
That came from the art commission, though, it had nothing.
I know, I'm just saying, there was a lot of work that was put into
Yeah,
that, to put it.
I
in
know they don't
council,
wanna do
And
that,
they was like, we don't wanna do it, let's find out if they wanna do that first.
so should we,
You see what I'm saying?
we ask them at that meeting in February then?
Maybe, that's a great list.
Mhm.
So maybe it could go on this with a highlight or a question mark on it,
Or
so that
just
we
a
don't
big
drop it.
question. Yeah. or
Let's
just
do
a
it.
big question.
Okay.
Strategy,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're talking about this is kind of what we're thinking, what do you think?
So we'll
Okay.
prepare for that.
There,
Okay,
because we're gonna have to work with the council on this anyway.
There's gonna have to be a lot of funds put
Yeah.
into it, something like that
Yes.
as well. Right.
okay, there was another thing on here, and it has to do with pickleball. And we do have a pickleball person here, but I was wondering, there was that survey that was maybe gonna get done, and what I don't wanna do is not. I don't wanna lose the fact that we have a pickleball community that's been showing up and bringing comments to us. And it seems like that needs a little attention. Is there something that, we can do with that to help?
Not this commission, it's beyond this commission now, this commission already worked on it, passed it on to staff. Staff is taking care of and working closely with the pickleball community.
Okay,
Out at our, temporary pilot program. The plans are, so I can say in the public space, the plans are for next fiscal year to put it in the budget, in the capital budget, to make, to improve those pickleball facilities,
mhm,
out there. So, that's, it's already done, and I
Okay.
think it's to the likeness. That one is accomplished already, and this commission did a great job of doing what needed to be done. to make sure that that pilot program was successful, and I can tell you it is successful right now. So there's a
Okay.
public process to
Very
get that, yeah, there's a
Okay.
public process to get the funding for it still in June, and then to go forward with the project and the contract overall.
Okay, so
So-
the only thing is when we don't have it on here is that it's hard, the community can come and make comments, but. it-
They can make comments there, the community is welcome to reach out to me, like
Okay,
some of the pickleball community already does, to
okay,
find out updates on that, but nothing is gonna be done at that pickleball program. We paid a lot of, some get some money to make some good improvements out there, that's the feedback we're getting from the pickleball community. Just to get us to the next fiscal year, we'll do full upgrades on that facility.
okay, all
Okay.
right, sounds good.
Very sorry,
No problem.
I'm waiting for me in church in Los Gatos.
Oh, my goodness.
No
Okay.
problem.
Trust you all to make really good projects. That's why you vote for me, right?
And then there was one more thing on the
Sure.
art that I thinking, so this could be maintenance, that I'm gonna be bringing up the empty space
That's part, yes.
is made, okay.
Well, actually, that's more of the call for art. I think that's
Okay,
the call for.
so that's okay,
Because
okay.
there's two sections that we put this in the art, is one is the maintenance aspect of what needs to be fixed and corrected,
Right.
including nameplates.
Right.
That's a maintenance aspect.
Mhm.
And there's also the call for art to fill those
To
empty
fill those
spots.
empty spots, okay, and we don't need to
That's correct.
specify that in the plan, Yeah, okay, we'll do it, all right, sounds good.
Okay.
Anybody have anything else that they want to add? Oh, I thought you were reading. No, to add to our work plan. What would be great is if you,
No, don't we have one more section? Do we,
No,
that was the last one?
we did it, yeah, the community outreach, the cultural, the art, the recreation and the parks. Yeah, I think we did it, and we did it.
You got it.
Sorry. You made it very creative. So I think that closes out this topic. And, we just move on to, informational items.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay,
The only informational item is, that we wanted you to see the call for art. It has most recently gone out, so the previous commission voted on 2 themes for this past year, and the second one is around the world in Los Altos, my cultural heritage. And that call for art has gone out. And then once that art has all been collected, we will bring it back to the commission for you to review and select what art is going to be displayed in our art gallery.
so we'll actually see it, and an
Yeah.
email will go out in advance to you with images
So
of the
you'll see
artwork,
all
so you'll be able to
three
get
of
it ahead of time.
Everything that comes with it.
That's done here.
Yeah, so then when you come to a meeting, when we come to our meeting, we'll be voting
You
on.
can see that process as it happens, the previous commission did it. There's other ways to do that process if you wanna make it quicker and stuff like that, so you could have the subcommittee. You can have, or the ad hoc committee, I'm sorry, you can have ad hoc committee, have working pair, work on some of these things too. So I can discuss that later, but let's follow that regular process that we did last. year.
Yeah. It's a good way to do it, and then everybody kind of understands.
Yeah.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Yeah.
Are we as commissioners allowed to distribute that call for art?
Yes,
So to share, yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
absolutely, we send it.
So we can share it on our social media?
Yes, please,
Oh,
or just share our social media. and share.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When you make some comment about not doing
That's
something on social media, then I'm like, clarity.
Yeah.
I think it's more about making sure that what you put out matches what they want us to put out, I think.
For like promoting events, like, let's say, right?
Good.
So
Definitely be
yeah,
cautious, definitely be
Right, I
cautious.
use my
typing
social
it.
media
Right.
for business,
That's
so-
the whole thing.
That's the whole thing, which I think you've got some training on that already, so.
if you follow our department or the city's department, the city, you can share those
Yeah.
postings.
So yes, if we get something from them, we can
We
forward it out.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So it'd be good to forward this.
Yeah.
And maybe even the link, right, where they find a form, because that
Right.
makes it even easier, because there is a form that has to be filled out, and there's also a protocol for how they submit it too.
And feel free to go to our social media pages for Parks and Recreation, or even the city. And see what we have promoted with.
Right.
Okay, so that's it for that, and I don't think there are any commission or subcommittee reports, because we're brand new. And how about any requests for future agenda items?
No,
Not this one.
I'm good.
We,
Well, definitely, that's gonna be in January, so there is no commission meeting in December. So we'll come back in the third Tuesday, January, as scheduled. And, for a regular meeting, we'll have at least the work plan on there, and, you'll have two items already, the work plan and preparation for the joint meeting. Preparation for the joint meeting, so that one, it's just, I'm gonna explain because I don't think, I think we're the only one that's been in that joint meeting before. I'll explain how the joint meeting is gonna go, and I'll have more, possibly have more information on what to expect. with
Do you have a
council.
date, for the joint meeting?
No, they told, I just got informed today that it's gonna be in February.
It'll be a Tuesday in February though, so mark your calendars for Tuesdays.
Yeah,
No?
most likely.
Most likely.
Most likely,
Okay,
that's how it's
fine,
getting
well,
passed.
because I said
I
that.
don't-
Usually it's before their regular city.
Usually they don't
council
wanna come in on Wednesday, Thursday.
Right.
99%.
And then, what Tuesday? Do we have an item on the city council tomorrow? I have it on my calendar too.
If I'm not gonna be there, you don't have to be there.
Okay.
I don't
I
know.
have it on my calendar, okay.
I don't think these, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I'm sorry. If you're at the meeting, then you want the commissioners to be?
Not necessarily, but if I'm at the meeting, it's the only time that's
She
a
was-
possibility. Oh, yeah, that's right.
The commissioners are all assigned meetings throughout the year, so
Oh.
in January, I'll distribute that again.
Okay.
And then if there is a parks, arts, recreation, cultural item on the council agenda, then you should be there to be able to report back.
Just asking. They may have questions for you.
Yeah.
So you're gonna send a list in January, because I know, I think I was assigned.
Yeah, we'll recreate it. I'll recreate it in January for all of next year's meetings.
That's great. I don't think these are future agenda items, but I'm not sure where they fall. Park tour for commissioners, I thought we did that once before.
We did.
We did, and I think it was really helpful. Yeah.
Oh, Convoy.
Go.
That's right. we
Yeah.
have the van and
We did.
Another car.
So I was,
We can look at setting that up for the new year.
Yeah, that'd be great for this group, because,
I think it would be,
I
yeah.
mean, how many parks do we have? See?
11.
That'll help, there we go, 11 parks and one open
I was
space.
like, think 11.
Oh, there you go.
And then the other is, a tour of community center maybe, or suggesting that everybody walk this community center and work really well. Cause the, Grand Oakland has a kitchen and stuff, so. Something like that, so we're all familiar when we talk about them. Okay, so, with that, I think we can adjourn the meeting and we get the exact time. I know Casey's got 8:41. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank
For all
you.
your good work.